Is it real? Is there going to be an honest effort to go and destroy that guy, to go and knock that guy out? Or is it strictly to make money?
I work for a newspaper and a website that will do really well on that and hits and what have you, so I can't be too
That's why the fight's being made. Initially, yeah, I think that it's an event. You know, you come up with an event, you're going to put a show on Broadway, you're going to put a play on Broadway. You hope you have the right play to make money.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't know for sure if it's going to be interesting to the fans, if it's going to bring people in to pay, you know, $300 for a Broadway ticket or what the hell they charge nowadays. Everything is getting more expensive. I don't know, it could be $1,000. Whatever it is, well, it depends what seat you get, I guess. But whatever, you hope that you have chosen the right topic, the right material for people to come out and pay money to watch it, to want to watch it. And at the end of the day, the people that put this together, they put it together the same way you put a Broadway play together. They were thinking, will the people like this play? Will the people come out and pay for this play?
Part with their money.
And yeah, it seems like they sure as hell will. And it seems like who the hell needs a Broadway theater and producer when you have what's the name of the that they're taking over everything in television and stuff. When you have Netflix, who needs old-fashioned Broadway producer? You got Netflix. They're bringing up trucks of money and they run everything now, and it's guaranteed. And they take it, and you're going to do good. And if they take it because it's going to make money. But people want more. I think people would want to also know more than that. And I think that what you're getting at is it real? See, that to me, that's the only question. And I'm not in any way, I applaud them that they can make money and at this point in Tyson's life. And I applaud Jake Paul that he was creative enough, he worked hard enough, he had a vision enough that he could take 20 million YouTube followers, whatever the hell it was, he could take that and he could bring it to this arena and he could make it work and he could, see, people say, Teddy, don't you hate the guy because, you know, you've been around 50 years and, you know, you're old school and they love to tour and all that stuff. You must say, I said, no, I give the guy credit. I kind of admire him. Like, really? Why? Well, he didn't disrespect the sport. Because that's what you're getting towards, because that's what most, he disrespect. No, he's not disrespecting the sport. He went out there, he's still going out there, he's learning it, he's working, and he's taking risk. Yeah, I know he's picking his spots pretty well. You know, I get it, but didn't a guy named Canelo, don't he pick his spots pretty well? Look, Canelo, it's different because he's earned the right. He was in the business, obviously as an amateur, he turned pro when he was 15. He's fought real fighters all the way up. But now that he's at the point that he's at, he's earned the right because of the body of work that he's done and the magnificence of that, the success of that, he's earned the right to have advantages when he picks opponents because he's bringing the money.
Yeah.
Jake Paul brings the money. He created this whole freaking thing. And I give him credit that he didn't disrespect the sport. I give him credit that he went out there and he worked hard. He got a couple trainers, I don't know how many trainers he's had now, but he's had he went out there and learned the sport and learned the things he needed to learn and continues to learn them. Obviously, he's not a finished product by any means, but he's learned. He's a work in progress, but he's gone out there and he's learned and worked hard for the last 4 years, maybe it's 5 now, whatever it is, to be able to be the best boxer he could be, and to continue to aspire to be better, and that takes hard work, that takes a commitment, and it also takes risk. Because even though he's picked his opponent, people say, Teddy, he picked this, he picked that guy. Wait a minute. Yeah. But other than the first fight that he was involved with, I think with a basketball player, whatever that was, but other than that, he was picking older UFC fighters, no doubt about it. Some of them, they fought smaller.
Lighter weights and
they fought smaller than him. He had that advantage, no doubt about it. but they were fighters. There were still guys that he hadn't accomplished what they had accomplished in a way that for 15 years of their life, they had been in that furnace, that cauldron of danger where they were comfortable in an uncomfortable environment. They knew how to behave and think and act and fight like a fighter. He hadn't been in that yet. These were real guys. Yeah, they were older. Yeah, they were small, but they weren't professional strikers. They were overall UFC fighters. That their greatest skills weren't just in striking, but they were athletes. They were fighters, and there was an element of danger in that. I don't care. There's still an element of danger. He got caught a couple times, if his chin wasn't what it was, or if his fortitude was, he could have went sideways. He could have, even with those guys, because they were of a certain level enough to bring a threat. Mm-hmm. So, and then of course he fought Tommy Fury, who had been dedicated to only one thing, being a boxer, even though he wasn't, high in his development yet, but he had 10 fights, whatever, but he was still a guy who was just a fighter. And that fight was competitive.
Yeah.
It was competitive. So all I can say is that give the man his due. You don't have to love him. You don't have to like him at all. You don't have to even appreciate him. But respect that he took a vision and he went and he acted on that vision. And he's made it into a reality. We'd say in our country, he's done it the American way. Yeah. Where he had a dream and he worked to make that dream become a reality. And, now again, he's fighting a 58-year-old guy. My only question to this, when people come to me and say, Teddy, what do you do? Before I can get into, the real nooks and crannies of it, is it real? And I've never said that before. And again, I've spent some time showing you that I do have respect for, and look, the other side of it, Tyson deserves whatever, because this is a guy who was one of the best heavyweight champions ever. This is a guy who's been fighting since he's 12 years old. This is a guy, who won all the titles, did everything that he's done and everything. At 58, if he can have an opportunity to make some money, and that's what he wants, God bless him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't, but for the consumer, for me, the one question is, are you there just to be hoping you're entertained? See, Tyson was one of those rarities that towards the end of his career, people weren't coming out because of the athletic component or fighting component of him anymore.
Like a freak show.
Yeah, they were coming out because of the curiosity. What am I going to see? Last time he bit the guy's ear off, maybe he bites his head off. Is that possible? Does his mouth open? No, he might, but he could take chunks of it, and, kind of maybe, but if the ref don't get in there quick enough, he could get half of his head. So people were starting to think, like you said, a freak show, like what could happen? Yeah. And so that is still in the air with Tyson, and I think that's part of why they decided to take this on Broadway. Netflix decided to buy this, that it's got the components, it's got the elements where, you got this one guy who's younger, who's trying to be a fighter, trying to prove that he can be a fighter, that has taken his vision and brought it to this place, and he's got a lot of attention, where you got this former great fighter that there's still a curiosity. There's an enigma about this guy. Yeah. Like, what's he gonna do? Like, maybe he'll get frustrated again. Maybe he'll pick him up in the air, like in the Rocky movie. Yeah. Where it was supposed to be understood that him and Hulk Hogan were gonna do this thing, and Hulk Hogan decided to change the script. But again, it comes to only one thing for me, and then I can deal with the rest. I can understand people going there for the curiosity to just be entertained, to see what that entertainment might be, to see how good a kid, I call him a kid, but a kid in Jake Paul that took a dream, like how far can he take it as a real fighter? Yeah. To see if there's anything realistic towards that dream. in that way. To see if a great fighter is always going to be a kid who was never a great fighter, who did have that dream, who has worked, like I said, but it don't matter. A great fighter is still going to beat him. This is a guy who, the old saying, he forgot more than you're ever going to know. He could get out of bed and beat a guy like that. Yeah. Does that component come into it? All of that said, first time I ever thought this with this kind of event, I never thought this before. Is it real? Is it fixed? That's my only question. And I'm not trying to put out, because if I'm asked a question, I'm going to give an answer that I believe. I'm not going to hold back on that because it's going to take me down a road where maybe, people don't want to hear that, or otherwise I'm not going to say nothing. I'll just do this and say, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The only people who are going to say this is definitely excellent are the people that are going to be getting paid.
I don't know what it's going to wind up being. I hope it's more than the word you use, which is rubbish, and I get it. I understand. I love your words over and across the pond. I do. I really do with certain things, except when they're pointed at me in a certain way with certain guys. But it's okay. I get it. I get it. It's fair game. But back to seriousness. That's my question, and again, I'm not pointing a finger. I'm not trying to pour water on somebody's, party or anything like that. I'm just saying that is a legitimate question for me is it real? And maybe it is. I would hope it is, for whatever real is at this point in their lives. But especially in Tyson's life, is it real? Is there going to be an honest effort to really, let's speak, let's not mince our words here in this business. Is there going to be an honest effort to do what is always looking to be done when a fight is made? To go and destroy that guy, to go and knock that guy out. Let's get right to it. I mean, Teddy, you talk about the sweet science. No, I'm not saying I don't. That's right. But it's still at the end of the day, you want to go get that guy. And if you can knock him out, if you could destroy him, you could do that. You want to go do that. Is that really at the forefront of what is in these two fighters? These two guys named fighters now at the point they are, that's still what is at the front of their mind, to go in there and see if they can destroy that guy. Go and see if they can knock that guy out. Go and see if they can dominate that guy. Go and see if they can be the boss of that guy in a physical, technical manner, and have the mental wherewithal to do it. Is that what's driving these two guys? Or is it strictly to make money? What makes me think that, besides the obvious, is about 2 years ago they were talking about this fight. I don't know if everyone remembers that. And they were friendly. It was about 2 years ago, I think, if my memory
going on the podcast together, wasn't
and they were talking about it, and they were friendly, they had a relationship, and the fight never happened.
Yeah.
And now it happens.
Yeah.
I have to look at that. I'm sorry, I'm that person that questions those things.
Yeah.
If Tyson's going out there, even at this age, the last thing that goes is your power. Mm-hmm. I think I learned that firsthand with a guy named George Foreman. Yeah. That's the last thing. Yeah, your reflexes go. Yeah, your speed deteriorates, your timing, all those things, no doubt about it. But your power don't. And there's muscle memory. People say, Teddy, what about Tyson's timing? Timing. Look, all I know is that if the guy throws a punch, he's got the muscle memory to slip it and throw a freaking punch, and he's still got good speed and he's got power. That's the only timing he's going to need. Yeah. It ain't getting much more complex than that. So if it's real, if it's legit, if it's on the up in that way of effort, I think the first 2 rounds could be really dangerous for Paul. Like you really could see Tyson go out there, so bang, 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 and next thing you know, Paul's got a problem.